All right, Shalom. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Ha, Rakah Quadash, double honors unto our apostle elders which rule great millstone. Well, and Shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure unto the end. Shalom Wa Abba Babal. So I seen this video on Rumble, because if you have a Roku, you could watch Rumble. And I came across it on Rumble on the TV, and it's recent, it's today, and it says Alec Baldwin, quote, "We are in pre-Civil War culture," which he speaks about a movie, an old movie, and I watched it, all right, which YouTube's not letting that video play, or else I'd play it for you. But let me go to my history. And then it says, this is it here.
Force, take a drink.
So this movie here, The Civil War by Ken Burns. All right, it's a long documentary. I watched it today before the Sabbath. And the key points is that Civil War was stirred up by Jake going from slavery, from private-owned slave owners, all right, Edomites and other nations, because, you had these Edomites always in bed with the other nations, using them as they weaponize them with their relationships. That's why you had the Chinese railroad laborers, human trafficking, which you had Jake caught up in the mix, Jake being the Israelite. But the Civil War was stirred up by Jake being released from privatized slavery and given over to the corporation, which the way they brought you in was through that railroad or through the military, which they were using the railroad to move the military through the country. See, and that's why you had Buffalo Soldiers, which were soldiers that fought the natives, which were both are Israelites. All right. Now the Edomites, the so-called Caucasian, the wicked that rule the world, all right, they were stirred up in that time during the Civil War because Jake was being released, which even in this video right here, A Civil War by Ken Burns, this actual documentary, an audiobook stories, which I can't share it to my page yet, but because this is a new page, but I like it. It should be in my likes, and then Lord willing, I'll be able to put the link in it. But if not, you know where to look, how to look it up. But I watched it, and like I said, when Jake was going from a good movie to watch to get an idea of what was happening is Glory, the movie Glory, when they were taking them from being slaves and making soldiers out of them. All right, and that stirred up Edom to war with each other, even in the house. That's why they said a war brother against brother. All right, because you had in the same house some people that were empathetic to the Israelite, sympathetic, right, to the Israelite that was in slavery, and then you had the heathen that wasn't, right? So you had Edomites that wanted slavery to be corporate instead of individual, and you had Edomites that wanted to keep the inheritance of their forefathers that came through and murdered for what they had, right? So, like the bankers today, the bankers are stealing the inheritance of the low-level Edomites today, all right? So that's why he says we're in the beginning, we're pre-Civil War, because when you look into that video, you had Israelites' positions changing. And what you have is on the street, all right, we're prophesying. And as it says, great fear fell upon them which saw them, all right? They didn't like Jake being allowed just to walk down the street. So then you had to get in some form of a contract or back into slavery to have protection, see? Because they don't like Jake having power. It says in Revelation 11, verse 8, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, which is America. All right, look up the new, I don't even know how to put it anymore, transformer legislation that the governor of Colorado is pushing. You can see it on Redacted. All right, I believe I did a video on it on this channel. All right, but you'll see that they push that spirit of sodomy and Egypt, which you're forced to be a slave here. That's why being homeless is a crime. All right, because they want you in slavery. Where also our Lord was crucified, which they teach you the false religion of Christianity, all right, which is a slave religion, but the Bible is true, all right, and it's for the Israelites, okay? And the Lord put the Spirit in us. It says in Revelation 11 and 11, and after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from Yahweh entered into them, starting with Abba Bivens in 1969 in Harlem, and they stood upon their feet, which were teaching the truth as men, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. So these heathen are being terrorized, even those 2/3 reprobates, all right, they're terrorized by this truth, all right? So that's why they're going to go against us so heavily, because they know that they have but a short time, all right? And so in this movie, they show that, all right, what caused the Civil War, once again, you had brother against brother, neighbor against neighbor, all right? But then they were releasing the slaves, and in that movie Glory, they were giving them uniforms, giving them guns, giving them an opportunity to fight in the military. And they would do it because they had no other protection. Because if they were found walking on the street, with their belongings in their hand, whatever Edomite came across them would do whatever they want to them. So they ran into the military or back into slavery for protection. All right, and Abraham Lincoln, see the bankers, all right, had him do this move, but then they got him out of there. All right, which it says that they kill each other. It says that in the scriptures in Revelation 6. Let's see. And it says in Revelation 6, verse 3, and when he, Yahushua, had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, come and see, that beast being an angel. And he's giving John this vision. And there went out another horse that was red. Red as Edom. He was given power. And power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword, which they do that. They kill each other. World War I, World War II, World War III. All right? And they kill each other. Civil War was known for being a war brother against brother. See right here, it says in AI overview, I just put in there Civil War known for, brother against brother. It says the American Civil War, a conflict between the Union and the Confederacy, known also as the North and the South, is often described as a war of brother against brother. because families were deeply divided, with some members fighting for the Union and others for the Confederacy, especially in border states. All right, which you had once again Israel.